The curtain has finally been lifted on Tom King's speculated Watchmen project, and it is a Watchmen project. It's a 12-issue series, Rorschach, and it's going to kind of go into more of the world of Watchmen under the complex writing of Tom King, who's promising a kind of reflection of the angry world of politics. Are you in it? Are you out? Do you wish that there was less Watchmen? Um, let's get into it. Hey everybody, this is Perch. The announcement did come through. Tom King has been kind of teasing, speculating for a while that there is a Watchmen book in his future. And sure enough, we've got it. It's Rorschach, and it's a 12-issue series. And it's meant to kind of dive deeper into the world of Watchmen. He had to know this was coming with the success of the HBO show. They were going to go back into this world. DC is happily enjoying this franchise. It's one of their kind of core properties, and they're gonna continue to do this until it's firmly not selling anything anymore. But that's going to be a while. So this is so a bunch of things here. So first of all, written by Tom King, as I mentioned, and illustrated by Jorge Fornés, who's if you're unfamiliar with that name, done a great deal of work with Batman, I think in Detective Comics, not Batman, and Thunderbolts, and has been around. And his style fits this project. Like there's certain artists that they come in and it's like, okay, yeah, I can see that. You know, he draws very dense backgrounds, very detailed. Kind of his work looks really good in black and white. This will be colored, but it does look really good. It's got that style to it. It's not full blown noir, but it's I don't know. He puts in the work. I guess I'll put it that way. And I think he's a great artist. But anyway, so a 12-issue series, as mentioned, and the kind of pitch for this series is it's set 35 years after the end of the original Watchmen. We're starting to get some weird, like at this point, the world of the Watchmen. Are we including what went on in the HBO series, or there's a bunch of different kind of stories set in this universe. Not really sure how they all go together, but at any rate, the basic pitch is that at the end of Watchmen, Rorschach, the original one, basically got his journal out into the media, and so people were able to read that and kind of read kind of this one man who was crusading against kind of events beyond their control, and in many cases was a people icon, even though he was not a hero. We'll get to that in a minute. So Rorschach has become a cultural icon. He's gone. But then suddenly, 35 years later, he or somebody wearing his mask reappears as part of a pair of assassins trying to kill the first candidate to oppose President Robert Redford in decades. And so the story is kind of not about him, but about a determined detective who, for all we know, is him, and it's one of those kind of deals. But he's walking backward in time, uncovering the identities and motives of the killers, taking into the dark conspiracy of the alien invasion, disgraced do-gooders, mystical visions, and generally the gritty, dark underbelly of Watchmen. And the DC kind of goes out of their way in the solicitation to take note of Rorschach may have spoken the truth, but he wasn't a hero. This is one of those things that for whatever reason, well, it's not for whatever reason. The problem is that the DC Alan Moore have long commented that Rorschach was not a hero, but then they wrote him to be cool, if for lack of a better word, they wrote him in such a way that if you're reading that story, I mean, he's going and he's uncovering things. He's got kind of that slightly Punisher kind of feel, and I get that they were what they were going for. The problem is when you write somebody who's kind of determined to vet out the truth and is doing some dark things, but it's also they gave him lots of cool scenes, and so you can't give a character like cool scenes and then go, I don't know why everybody thinks he's a hero and looks up to this guy. It's like you wrote him that way. I mean, you wrote. you know, it's one of those things where and maybe this is answering my own question from other videos, is why do writers not put effort into villains? Maybe they're afraid that this is going to happen, that they put effort into the villain and they make the villain cool, and then people like the villain more. I don't know, but at any rate, this is one of those items. I talked to creators about this before. They're like, I don't know why anybody thought Rorschach was a hero. Like you don't. It's kind of right there on the page. They wrote this guy. Well, whatever. So Tom King gives a statement, says basically, like HBO's Watchmen show, which makes sense. You got to tie into that. And very much like the original '86 Watchmen, this is a very political work. King said in an announcement. It is an angry work. We're so angry all the time now. I hadn't noticed. I hadn't noticed with that weird little feud you had with Dean Cain. I hadn't noticed we were all angry now. Anyway, we have to do something with that anger. Oh, God, that's a problem. It's called Rorschach, not because of the character Rorschach, but because what you see in these characters tells you more about yourself than about them. All right, fair enough. So that's basically what we're getting. We're getting a 12-issue series, which plays to Tom King's strength. I think he's kind of mastered that maxi series format, and that works with his style. Very much the artist, good. To me, and here's where, please don't misunderstand. I'm not suggesting that comics shouldn't be political or we can't do any of this stuff. I'm not suggesting any of that. What I am suggesting is that um, at least, I'll just speak for myself, am kind of a little burnt out of kind of angry political takes. And partly why is that comics can't compete with the, the content output of, say, Twitter, which succeeds in delivering to this need every second. So it's like I feel like I'm filled up. I'm good with that stuff. And other people, again, the artist is strong. Tom King can write a good kind of depressed, angry political story like the best of them. Sure, why not? It's just it, it I look at this and my first reaction is not yes. I've been hoping for a Rorschach series where we look into the dark, angry underbelly of politics. My first reaction is, oh man, do we have to? It'll be fine. I'm not suggesting the book doesn't get published. I'm not suggesting to all the Tom King fans out there that he's bad or any of that. Just I kind of wonder. I guess here's my speculation. At some point, do people get tired and burned out of political? Not political. Political is the wrong word. It's just like angry takes where a bunch of people are bad. I mean, like. So one of the things I hate to go down this road because different people have very stark opinions on this topic, but one of the perceptions of the Obama presidency and the posters, the hope, was that, hey, things looking up, we could go into a golden age. It's hope. That's kind of the premise, and of course that worked for half the people. It didn't work for the other half, but in terms of the media and some of the output. There was at least this attempt to produce some works that went kind of hopeful. That and today the vast majority, not all, but the vast majority of media is really much about kind of dark anger, rage, simmering protests and everything else. And I get it's a reflection of the world around us, and that's all going on. And for sure, it's just it would be nice if at some point we could get kind of both things simultaneously. Like we could do the dark simmering rage and we could do the angry reflection of the world, and we could have the hopeful, optimistic stuff as well. I'm not here advocating for like sunshines and rainbows and unicorn butts and all that kind of stuff. I'm just saying there's just feels, and maybe I'm wrong. Like there's a lot of pitches out there that are like, this is going to take a dark look at this is going to really hold a mirror up to our own rage and anger. It's like I you know what, I'm good. I'm good. I feel self-actualized, self-aware. I don't need that. Okay, but that said, okay, put that on the shelf. 12-issue series, Watchmen World. We're going back to it. Are you excited? Are you not excited? Is it a good series? I'm sure it'll be a quality book and everything else. And I'm not going to sit here and dog on it. Other channels can do that. But are you excited about this kind of world? Are you, which Watchmen character do you want them to cover next? Leave a comment below, like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter or Facebook at Comic Perch, and thanks for listening.